Have you ever wondered how a perfect angel, created to be one of the most beautiful and wise creatures in the universe, became humanity's greatest enemy? How did someone who lived in the presence of God, surrounded by glory and splendor, come to be known as the ultimate symbol of evil? Today we're going to uncover the fascinating and dramatic story of Satan in the Bible. Get ready to discover how Lucifer, the angel of light, became Satan, the adversary, and what the consequences of this transformation mean for all of us. Stay tuned to understand how this ancient tale still impacts our lives today. In the beginning, long before the creation of mankind, God created celestial beings to dwell in the heavens and serve him. Among these beings stood out an angel of rare beauty and wisdom known as Lucifer, whose name means bearer of light or morning star. Lucifer wasn't just another angel. He was an anointed cherub with a prominent position of honor in the celestial kingdom. In Ezekiel 28:12-15, we have a description that metaphorically refers to both the king of Tyre and allegorically to Lucifer. You were the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone adorned you: carnelian, topaz, diamond, turquoise, onyx, jasper, sapphire, garnet, and gold. Your settings and mountings were made of gold. On the day you were created, they were prepared. You were an anointed cherub who covers, and I placed you there. You were on the holy mountain of God. You walked among the fiery stones. You were blameless in your ways from the day you were created, until unrighteousness was found in you. This passage reveals that Lucifer was created with a special purpose and endowed with exceptional attributes. He was adorned with precious stones, symbolizing his majesty and glory. His perfection was evident in every aspect: beauty, wisdom, and abilities. Moreover, he held a privileged position with direct access to God's presence on the holy mountain. Lucifer was an exalted being, destined to be an example of perfection and to reflect God's glory. His role as an anointed cherub implied significant responsibility, protecting and guarding God's throne. He walked among fiery stones, symbolizing his proximity to divine holiness and purity. The creation of Lucifer was an act of divine love and purpose. God made him with great care, equipping him with everything he needed to fulfill his celestial mission. However, as we'll see later on, this very perfection and prominent position would be the very elements that contributed to his downfall. Lucifer had a grand mission and unmatched beauty, but he also had freedom, and it was precisely this freedom that led him to make choices that would forever change the course of his existence and impact all of creation. He was created perfect, but pride and ambition began to grow in his heart, marking the beginning of one of the most tragic chapters in celestial history. Lucifer's perfection shows us God's original intention for his creatures to live in harmony and glory. However, it also serves as a reminder that the gift of choice is powerful, capable of creating paths of light or darkness, depending on how it is used. Thus, the creation of Lucifer is both a testimony to God's magnificence and an introduction to the complex nature of free will and its consequences. Despite all his glory and perfection, something changed in Lucifer's heart. Pride and ambition began to grow, and the most radiant angel in heaven desired more than he was given. He wasn't satisfied with serving. He wanted to be served. He didn't just want to reflect God's glory. He wanted to be like God. Isaiah 14:12-14 gives us insight into what happened. How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. How you are cut down to the ground, you who weakened the nations. For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. This passage reveals Lucifer's burning desire to usurp God's position. He wanted to elevate himself above all other celestial beings, place his throne above God's stars, and be like the Most High. This aspiration for greatness and equality with God was a fundamental violation of divine order. Lucifer's rebellion wasn't just silent ambition. He managed to influence a third of the angels in heaven to follow him. Revelation 12:4 states, his tail drew a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. These stars represent the angels who allied with Lucifer in his rebellion. The consequence of this rebellion was immediate and devastating. Lucifer and his followers were confronted by the forces loyal to God, led by the archangel Michael. Revelation 12:7-9 describes the ensuing battle, and war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought, but they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. The war in heaven resulted in Lucifer's defeat and expulsion, along with his rebellious angels. This event marked his transformation from Lucifer, the bearer of light, into Satan, the adversary. He was cast down to earth, where he would continue his opposition to God and humanity. Lucifer's fall is a powerful reminder of the consequences of unchecked pride and ambition. He lost his position of honor and perfection, trading it for eternity as God's enemy. His rebellion brought chaos and destruction, both in heaven and on earth, and serves as a warning to all about the dangers of straying from divine purpose. The transformation of Lucifer into Satan is a tragedy of cosmic proportions, yet also a crucial component of the larger drama of redemption. The biblical narrative shows us that despite rebellion and evil, God remains sovereign and just, and divine love constantly seeks to restore the broken balance and harmony caused by disobedience. The transformation of Lucifer into Satan and his subsequent rebellion resulted in a cosmic war that shook the foundations of heaven. This conflict involving celestial beings is vividly described in the book of Revelation. In Revelation 12:7-9, we read about this monumental battle, and war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought, but they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. In this passage, the dragon symbolically represents Satan, and the battle is led by the archangel Michael, who frequently appears in the Bible as a defender of God's people. The conflict in heaven was not a mere dispute. It was a total war between the forces of light and the forces of darkness, with Michael and the angels loyal to God on one side, and Satan and his rebellious angels on the other. The outcome of this war was the expulsion of Satan and his followers from heaven. They did not prevail against the divine forces and were cast down to the earth. This expulsion symbolizes the complete defeat of evil forces in the celestial realm and the withdrawal of their direct influence in heaven. However, this defeat did not mean the end of Satan's activities. Expelled from heaven, he continued his opposition to God on earth, seeking to corrupt and destroy divine creation. Satan's fall was a descent in status and dwelling. He who once walked on God's holy mountain was now confined to the earth. In Luke 10:18, Jesus mentions this fall. "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." This image of a swift and powerful fall reinforces the idea of a decisive and irrevocable defeat. The war in heaven also has profound theological implications. It shows us that evil originates from a free choice, even among celestial beings, and that God allows freedom but does not leave evil unanswered. The expulsion of Satan reinforces divine justice and the certainty that ultimately good will triumph over evil. Moreover, the celestial battle is a prelude to the conflicts that would continue on earth. Satan, now confined to the earth, intensifies his war against humanity, attempting to divert them from God's path. In 1 Peter 5:8 we are warned, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour." The expulsion of Satan and his angels from heaven is a milestone in the biblical narrative that helps us understand the nature of the conflict between good and evil. This event not only clarifies the origin of evil, but also reinforces the need for spiritual vigilance and trust in God's justice and sovereignty. In summary, the war in heaven is a crucial event in the history of redemption. It reveals the gravity of Satan's rebellion, God's justice in dealing with rebellion, and the ongoing battle between the forces of good and evil. This narrative prepares us to better understand Satan's role on earth and the relentless struggle he wages against humanity, while also assuring us that divine justice will ultimately prevail. After Satan's fall and his expulsion from heaven, he was cast down to earth, where he continued his rebellion against God, in a more intense and direct manner. Satan's presence on earth is a constant reality in the biblical narrative, influencing human history from the beginning. In the Garden of Eden, we encounter Satan in his first direct interaction with humanity. In Genesis 3, he appears in the form of a serpent, ready to deceive and corrupt God's creation. Satan approaches Eve and questions God's command, insinuating doubt and distrust. Did God really say, "You must not eat from any tree in the garden"? Genesis 3:1. Through his cunning, he convinces Eve to disobey God by eating the forbidden fruit, thus introducing sin into the world. This act of disobedience had devastating consequences for all humanity, resulting in the fall of mankind and the separation between God and his children. Satan's impact on earth expands throughout biblical history. He is portrayed as an active being, always seeking opportunities to divert people from God's path. In 1 Peter 5:8, we are warned about his constant and dangerous presence. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. This image of a roaring lion illustrates Satan's predatory and relentless nature, always lurking to devour the unwary. In the book of Job, we see Satan playing the role of accuser. He appears before God and challenges Job's integrity, suggesting that Job's faithfulness is merely a result of his material blessings. In Job 1:9-11, Satan says, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? But now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." God allows Satan to test Job, but within limits. This account shows Satan's accusatory nature, always seeking to prove that humans are not truly loyal to God. In the Gospels, Satan appears again, tempting Jesus in the desert. In Matthew 4:1-11, he challenges Jesus to turn stones into bread, to throw himself from the temple, and to worship him in exchange for all the kingdoms of the world. Jesus resists all these temptations, responding with scripture and demonstrating his complete faithfulness to God. This episode highlights Satan's persistence in trying to divert even the Son of God, and serves as an example of spiritual resistance for believers. The presence of Satan on earth also manifests through demonic possession. In the New Testament, we find several accounts of Jesus and his disciples casting out demons, freeing people from the control of evil spirits. These actions demonstrate Satan's power over those who fall into his trap, but also Jesus' superiority and authority over evil. In addition to direct attempts to corrupt and destroy, Satan also works through worldly systems and structures. In Ephesians 6:12, Paul writes, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." This passage emphasizes that Satan's influence extends beyond individual actions, permeating power structures and influencing entire cultures and societies. Despite all his malevolent activity, the Bible assures us that Satan is destined for final defeat. In Revelation 20:10, we read about his ultimate fate. "And the devil who deceived them was thrown into the lake of burning sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet had been thrown. They will be tormented day and night forever and ever." This promise of final judgment reinforces the certainty that evil will be eradicated and divine justice will prevail. In summary, Satan on earth is an active and constant presence, always seeking to divert humanity from God through deceit, temptation, and accusation. However, the biblical narrative also offers us hope and assurance that, despite Satan's influence, God is in control, and ultimate victory belongs to good. This duality between the presence of evil and the promise of redemption encourages us to stand firm in faith and resist temptations, trusting in God's justice and sovereignty. The story of Satan serves as a warning about the dangers of pride and rebellion. From a perfect angel, he became the adversary of God and mankind, a figure who personifies evil and opposition to the divine plan. But the Bible also offers us hope. In Romans 16:20 we read, "The God of peace will soon crush Satan under your feet." Therefore, as we recognize the reality of evil, we also stand firm in the promise of ultimate victory. The story of Satan reminds us of the importance of humility and faithfulness to God, encouraging us to remain steadfast in our faith. This concludes our journey today. I hope this reflection on the transformation of Lucifer into Satan has been enlightening and thought-provoking. Stay tuned for more fascinating biblical stories in our upcoming videos. Until next time.